All right, folks, welcome to the runningrestaurants.com podcast, where we bring you the tips, tools, and techniques you need to know to make your restaurant more profitable and successful. I'm your host, Jaime Oikle, and today we've got a great episode for you with Zack Oates, founder and CEO of Ovation. Zack, welcome, man. Thanks for joining in.
Jaime, so glad to be here, man.
So you've done this, you've been on, so we're going to go unscripted, but I want to start with your story, Ovation story, origin story, and I'll just kind of ping pong and go from there. Start us off.
Started off, I grew up in restaurants. My first job was at Friendly's.
Oh,
love that peanut sauce. How good is that? So that was my first job. And then my dad, when he retired from his first career, he got into a bunch of businesses, car washes, cell phone stores, restaurants. And so I was able to see it on both ends of the spectrum, the restaurant. Well, I got into technology, built and sold a couple of tech companies. And then I really, really wanted to get back into restaurants. I love this industry. I mean, like, think about it, Jamie. You have got some of the most fun, most crazy people in the world in this industry, because you gotta have a couple of screws loose to open up a restaurant. And I love the restaurant industry. So I was thinking about my days working in the restaurant. And one of the things I remember is that the goal of a restaurant is to create a great guest experience every single time. But the tools to measure that experience, they suck. No one likes to take a long survey. Online reviews just are bashing these restaurants down. And then what are they going to do? Like, go up to the restaurant and go up to the manager and say, hey, how was everything? Right? Well, at the end of the day, what happens when we do those table touches? You go up and you say, how was everything? And if it was good, you say, it was good. And if it was bad, you say, it was good. And then go leave a bad review, right? And so there needed to be a better way to engage with the guest, to open that line of communication. And the beauty of being in the restaurants is that we can see what are other industries doing. And they have things like live chat, real-time communication, AI. And so that's what we did with Ovation. So Ovation is a 2-question survey that we ask after somebody places an online order, or if someone scans their loyalty app. And then the questions are really simple. How was everything? And they have 5 emojis. And if they love it, we push them to leave 5-star reviews. We push them to schedule catering orders. We push them to download the loyalty app if they haven't already. And if they didn't love it, we ask them why. And that feedback goes privately to the staff, and through the Ovation app, they can respond to that guest in 3 clicks. But now, Jamie, here's the magic. We take all of the public reviews, we take all of that private feedback, and we use our system to break it down into over 30 scores per location. So you know exactly what to fix where. You know that you have an order accuracy issue on Wednesdays in Sheboygan, because we're getting so much data. And even though it's unstructured, by getting all that data, we're able to run analytics on it and make it actionable while helping you retain that guest in real time. So that's how we started, just basically combining my background of restaurants and my passion for tech.
Yeah, well, I can see it there, and you hit on a lot of the pain points at restaurants. I started scribbling because you hit a bunch of things, so we'll go back to a few of them, and we'll keep going. First of all, I want to go to the pushing them to do something else. Okay, that aspect of it is the engage, is what you can do with tech versus if it was a comment card. It is what it is, and you drop it somewhere. But so you're taking what they do. Okay, they gave the 5 stars, and now you're pushing them down a funnel to do something else that's beneficial. Or vice versa. They're not giving a great comment, and so you're pushing them in a different way. How have you learned that process to manage that, and what are some of the kind of trends you're seeing with that aspect of it?
So first of all, I just want to say this: for all restaurateurs out there, humans are not bad. Okay, the reason I say that is because if your only way to get guest communication is through your Yelp reviews, then you probably think humans suck, because people are 3 times more likely to leave a negative review than a positive one. Mm-hmm. And when you get upset that somebody leaves you a negative review, you should be getting upset. Every negative review loses you 30 customers. It hurts. It hurts a lot. And so what we're doing, though, is what we found is that when you lower the engagement threshold, when you lower the effort that it takes to give you feedback, people are much more willing to give you feedback. So, for example, someone is using a receipt survey, right? Mm-hmm. Like one of these guys here, where it's like, hey, go to this website, type in this 26-digit code, this 4-digit store number, complete these 75 questions within 24 hours of your visit, write it on the return receipt on this coupon, bring it in within 7 business days, and you can get $1 off your taco. It's like
very compelling.
Come on, right? Who's going to take these? I'll tell you who. Crazy people, right? People who have 30 minutes to waste to get $1 off their taco.
Right.
So what do you, or you have people that are doing these, like they'll get emailed a link. Hey, how did we do? 50 questions in this survey. Look, when you're taking that long of a survey, I don't know, Jamie, when's the last time you took one of those long surveys?
Dude, I won't do it. No, it's zero.
Zero, right? I mean, I talked to someone yesterday who said they did it because they wanted to get a free cookie. And so guess how accurate his answers were? It was click, 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 right? Yeah. Give me my free cookie. So what we're finding is that people, when you lower that threshold, people are willing to give feedback. And what we find is that 80% of your guests are going to give you 5 stars. So that's the thing people ask me all the time. They're like, Zach, I mean, I get the real-time feedback for the unhappy guest, but no one that's happy is going to take your survey. And I'm like, no, 80%, which is why we did a study with a very large chain, and they put us in one location, they put us in some locations, didn't put us in other. They picked locations that are same city, same marketing budget, similar revenue, similar store size, similar customer satisfaction before Ovation, ran us for 4 months against a test group. At the end of that 4 months, the Ovation locations had 3 times more online reviews. They had 1.1 stars higher of online reviews.
Interesting.
And get this, the non-Ovation locations increased revenue 2%. The Ovation locations increased revenue 11.5%. So what we're finding is that when you're focusing on guest feedback and when you're driving those happy customers to do something that's going to help you, they're willing to do it. They really are. You just have to make it easy for them. You can't make it so hard all the time for people to give you feedback. Yeah. And the easier you make it for them to give you feedback, the easier you make it for them to go online, to place orders, to to buy merch. They're willing to do it. You just need to make it easy for them.
Well, let me ask you the natural follow-up question. What is the making it easy process?
So, for example, when you click Ovation, if you click the 5 stars, like the hard eyes emojis, right? Because we have 5 emojis that we use, and the reason that we've tested NPS scores, we've the 0 to 10, we've tested 1 to 5, we've tested 5 stars. The emojis get the most accurate data because if you put, it's not around like, oh, like what was this? Maybe that, maybe this. It's basically, how do you feel about this? Because it doesn't matter what really happened. What matters is how you feel about it. And so with the double hard eyes emoji, if somebody clicks that, most other surveys, what do? They say, great, can you answer these 49 additional questions about your experience? What does Ovation do? We say, great, can you share your experience online? We say, great, and when they click it, boom, it drops them right in to leave a Google review, a Yelp review, a Facebook review. And if they if they click schedule a catering order, boom, it drops them right into that catering order place, right into the merch store, right into the link to download the loyalty app. And so we're removing clicks. And by removing clicks and adding options in there, you're able to drive that revenue. And the other thing that we found, Jamie, is that people will take this survey every time they come in. Now, no 50-question survey is getting taken twice in a week, much less twice in a month, much less twice ever from the same guest, unless they really want that $1 off their taco, right? But with Ovation, they're willing to give feedback because they know it's quick.
What is the trigger though? What is the way they get prompted for feedback? Is it app? Is it a QR code? What's that initial? interaction?
So what we do is we try to be wherever the guest is. So you go on your mobile phone to calibarbecue.media, and in the bottom it's going to say have a question, click here to text us. You click that button, boom, opens up into a text conversation. So if you have feedback for them, boom, it just goes right into the Ovation system, and that phone number is powered by Ovation. So to the guest, it's just a text conversation.
Yeah.
And to Sean Walchef, it gets plugged into Ovation, and he can follow up on the trends of what's going on. Somebody calls a store, press 1, press 2, press 3 if you have feedback, and they'll get a link texted to them of the Ovation link.
Okay.
If they do dine in, there's a QR code on the table. How did we do today? 2 questions to enter for a $100 gift card. We have bag stuffers for third party to convert them to first. And then we have integrations, 50 integrations with online ordering and loyalty systems where they will get a text message as soon as they get their food.
Okay. So the answer is there's a bunch of different ways to start that interaction process. Okay. That's what I wasn't sure about. Let's go to, because I want to come back to the third to first party thing in a little bit, but how long you guys been at it? It sounds like you work nationwide. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but tell a little bit more there.
Yeah. So we're in every single state in Canada. We started in 2016 and then in we were doing a lot of stuff for a lot of people. We had some partners that really wanted to push us into other industries, and the product started to get fat and warty, meaning that there was just things on there that weren't for restaurants. So during COVID, we cut out everything that was not feedback for restaurants. And so that's when we really had like a rebirth. So it took us 3.5 years to get 300 locations. And then over the next 2 years, we added 2,000.
Wow.
And so we've been growing really quickly. We work with hundreds of brands nationwide, from brands that every single person in America has heard of to, brands that are just down the street from me here in Utah. So, but we primarily focus on multi-location restaurants. And the whole goal is like, how do we help them to get more feedback, more reviews, more revenue? And that's where our sweet spot is. So some of the great brands that we love to work with, they're brands who maybe they were using a feedback tool before, but they just realized that, hey, I can't do these long surveys anymore. Or they're people who have wanted to do a long survey or secret shops, but just realized how dumb they are. You know what I mean?
I'm curious about one thing. Well, many things, but in this case, so you're getting a lot of learning. You're getting feedback from a wide swath of people, different concepts, right? Different concepts, different geolocations. What trends are coming out of it? What actionable things are the operators bringing to their next training session, to their next pre-shift meeting? What are some of the things that really pull out and kind of success stories, case studies, that sort of stuff? What do you think?
So we had a pizza restaurant that was having, they have 30 locations, and one of their locations was giving them issues. It was lower on satisfaction. It had lower reviews. It had lower revenue, and they weren't sure exactly why. Well, after using Ovation, we were able to show them that location has a food prep issue. And the reason we were able to show them that was because our system tagged 28 pieces of feedback per week having to do with food prep.
Wow.
Either it was undercooked, overcooked, messy toppings, uneven toppings, too much cheese, too little cheese. It just was all over the board. The average of the 30 stores was 5 complaints a week. And this one had 28. So he went in there, and once he used Ovation and he saw that issue, he went in there, he retrained everyone how to make pizza, and complaints in 1 week went from 28 to 3.
Okay. Big. And
so that is a huge indicator of guest satisfaction. And in fact, when you look at making these operational changes, that improved guest satisfaction. And then there's somewhere between a 2 to 3 month lag of guest satisfaction and revenue. So you can see this tried and true. When someone's online reputation takes a huge drop, a couple months later, their revenue is going to take a drop. In Ovation, we can see that as well. There's a correlation between satisfaction, guest satisfaction, and revenue. And it's not like this, hey, people are unhappy today, so they're going to stop coming in tomorrow. But you can see what happens is, as you create this well of dissatisfied customers, what do? They start leaving reviews, losing you customers. They start telling people, losing customers. They opt to cater somewhere else, losing customers. They tell people, hey, let's try another restaurant, losing customers. And so over time, every one of those bad experiences creates a drop in revenue later, which is why I tell restaurants all the time, Jamie, this is hand-to-hand combat, right? We've got to get these guests to come back because there's too many other options out there.
Oh yeah, there's way too many. This goes right to where I want to go next. Bad experiences, they happen. You're getting that feedback. Do you guys, as an education part in what you do, and maybe the answer is simply yes. How do you help guests or train your customers to manage that bad experience? It sounds like feedback is coming into them. People can overreact and yell back. Not a good idea. What are some of the ways that you teach to manage those bad experiences and kind of convert them for the future?
That's a great question. So first of all, what we do is we've found about 7 templates that will cover 95% of restaurant issues.
Sure.
So now keep in mind, you've got 80% of your guests that take the Ovation survey who are saying, yeah, we love it, right? And they're automated, right? Your managers don't have to do anything with them. Now, if they don't have a good experience and they give you written feedback, 95% of that feedback could be handled what I call with one thumb. With the Ovation app, your manager clicks 3 buttons and the guest gets a personalized text message using their name, the manager's name, a apology for the specific concern, be it order accuracy, cold food, soggy food, late food, and they can automatically attach a coupon as well to track when that guest comes back. Now, 5% are going to be what I call 2-thumb answers, where you're going to have to actually like type something out.
Yeah.
And those are like very rare things that doesn't make sense to create some AI template for. But the thing is that by making it so easy to respond and by using our proven templates, we're able to get over 40% of unhappy guests to come back within a couple months.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you look at that, compare that to online reviews, where you get 6% of people to come back if you're lucky, and you don't know when they come back. Because what am I going to do? I'm going to email you a coupon, and then how do I know when you use that? How do I know that you're you when you use that coupon? With Ovation, it's all tagged to your phone number, and as soon as you use that coupon, I can see and I can engage with you one-on-one. And that old style maitre d', or Sam, right, from Cheers, everyone knows your name. Team, we've got to get back to that. We've got to get back to hospitality. I've got Danny Meyer's book right up on my shelf. Why? Because hospitality is more than just a good tool for restaurants. It's a way of business. And just because you're hiring teenagers who don't care as much as you do doesn't mean that they can't care as much as you do. You just need to, again, just like with your guest, you get the feedback from your guest by making it easy. You get your staff to respond by making it easy. And if you could say, I'm going to help you be an awesome manager and win back any guest who has a problem with 3 clicks, I just need you to push these buttons and you can do it. They will do it. We've found that time and time and time again, they want to be good managers.
Yeah, I wrote down that buzzword, one thumb option, right? Like that ability to do it quickly. I'm just speculating here, but like, okay, that issue, boom, that, and then it assembles the email, the text, whatever. Like that's a big deal versus traditionally. Yeah, I see an email. Oh man, I'm busy. I got to respond to it. Oh, I got to sit down. I got to type. Oh, I got to recreate that same few sentences that I've done 20 times. I should have managed. Wouldn't it be good if I did a template? But so yeah, that's a big deal. I didn't realize that. So I do like that. And yeah, sometimes you need 2 thumbs and you got to actually type something out.
And think about this, Jamie, right? You could handle 5 conversations at a time on Ovation. And how many phone calls can you handle at a time of an angry guest?
Oh yeah.
1, right? It takes about 15 seconds to do a 2-thumb response. It takes 6.5 minutes, the average customer complaint call. So what we're doing is not only are we giving guests a chance to vent, but we're reducing those guests that are calling during the peak hour when you don't want your managers dealing with, an upset Ken or Karen. And then they can handle it as soon as the rush is over. They pull out their phone and boom, they respond to the 3 people that had issues. And one thing you asked about with trends, if you want to up your game, one of the big things that we found is you are 6 times more likely to get negative feedback about order accuracy off-prem than on-prem. And those off-prem order accuracy issues, they are ragers, right? Because if I order 3 burgers and I get 2, I mean, it sends you into a tizzy. And granted, and people are like, calm down, it's a $3 burger. And I'm like, okay, but let's look at the vending machine principle. When you put $1 into a vending machine and you get your chocolate bar out, Jamie, do you go and tell all of your friends about that?
No.
Now,
I see where this is going. Uh-oh. Yeah.
If you put $1 in and 2 candy bars come out, are you going to tell a couple of people? They'd be like, hey, I got 2 candy bars. That's cool, right? Jamie, if you put $1 in and your candy bar doesn't come out, I mean, that shirt is getting ripped off. That vending machine is getting carried over your head. You're ramming into it. You are furious for the rest of the day. And it's $1, but it's the principle. Humans hate to feel fleeced,
Well, there's a couple places we order from and we call it the surprise. You get the drive-through and you come back home and it's literally a surprise. What did we actually get versus what we ordered? And you're like, God damn it, they screwed up again. And yeah, it's a $2 this, $3 that, and it's not the end of the world. But like when you have, when it's not what you wanted to eat and you're already home and it's 10 minutes later, you're not going back. You're pissed. You're not happy, and it's a big miss. And it's something simple that you should be able to solve 99% of the time, and you probably have a better number for it.
Well, I mean, look at Chick-fil-A. They are a machine of accuracy, right? Now, granted, they don't have they're not Cheesecake Factory, right? But why is it that they are, in the industry reports, they're over 10% higher with order accuracy than the next closest brand? They care. They take time. They double check, right?
They do.
We have to train our people. We have to expo. We have to expo because that creates an experience where you're losing trust. And if you really break it down, Jamie, what is loyalty? Loyalty is I trust I'm going to get what I asked for. I trust that they're going to be the same every time, right? You've got your base level of loyalty, which is called convenience, which is, hey, it's on my way home. Hey, it's cheap. Hey, it's easy to get to. You have your next level of consistency, and that's where trust comes in. And then you have your top tier of loyalty. And this is what I call the 3 cons. So you have convenience, consistency, and the top tier. This is where you get raving fans, which is connection. Are you connecting with your guests? Do they care about you because they know that you care about them? And how do you show that you care about them? You respond to their feedback. Shoot, you ask for their feedback. You make it easy. Not 30 minutes for $1 easy, but 2 questions easy. And to say, no, I really do care, Jamie, about what you think. Yeah. I would love some feedback. For example, after this call, I'm going to ask you, Jamie, I'm going to say, Jamie, I'd love your feedback on how that podcast went. And I genuinely want it because you're someone that I respect that's done 200 plus of these things and you've seen a lot. And so I'm going to want your feedback, right?
Yeah.
And that's I'm going to be able to learn from you and connect from you, and then I'll be able to improve later. And I think that's what we need to do as restaurants. We've got to get better at that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good stuff, man. I'm going to go a little sideways because I saw something on your site that just intrigued me, right? On your board of advisors, Steve Young, quarterback, great. San Francisco, just legend. Steve Young. What's the connection there? What are you doing?
So my dad, his first career that I mentioned earlier was football. He played 14 years in the NFL, 3 Super Bowls, 5 Pro Bowls. I mean, like, the guy's a beast. He still has just solid abs, works out 6 days a week. And anyway, he played with Steve in college and then ended up playing with him at the 49ers as well. So they played together. When I was living out in San Francisco for Ovation, I called up Steve and I'm like, hey, let's grab lunch. And he is, by the quick story about him, he is such a good guy, but he's super busy. And so I showed up at his office 3 hours early so I could sit down in the cafe and do some work as I was waiting for him. And his assistant calls me and is like, oh, Mr. Oates, I'm so sorry, but Mr. Young had an appointment that he forgot about. Can we reschedule? And I was like, oh, well, I'm actually like in the office right now. And she's like, okay, well, let me call him real quick. So all of a sudden I'm sitting there back to work and I hear, hey, Zacksters. And I turn over, I'm like, hello? Yeah? He's like, let's go. And there's Steve. I was like, oh, where are we going? He's like, I got carpool. And I'm like, what do you mean you got carpool? And sure enough, we jump into his Honda Odyssey and we go pick up his daughter and her friends from school and go drop them off at their houses.
Oh, and, carpool, like the school carpool.
Yeah, and he like legit had carpool.
That's funny.
Anyway, he's just that kind of guy and has been such a great support and awesome friend through the years.
Good. All right. Good stuff. I mean, obviously just, you see him on TV. I watched him growing up, just great stuff there. But I want to go back to your site for a second. You do a podcast yourself. You guys do case studies. You produce content for the industry. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So one of our values at Ovation is build value. And that's for each other, for the industry, and for our customers. And so one of the things about for the industry is we do a podcast. We do it at least once a week. We've got 220 episodes out, and it's all around getting industry experts to share their secrets to grow your business. And we've had some great guests on. One day we'll get you, Jamie. But people from Kelly McPherson, who's a CIO of RBI and now CTO for Danny Meyer's Union Square Hospitality Group, Robert Earl, Wade Allen, Jeffrey Alexander. We've had some awesome guests. Stephen Covey came on.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And the original member, the founding member of the Jamaican bobsled team, we got him on as well. So anyway, we bring on some fun.
One of my first questions there would be, where did you run? Did he run in the middle? Did he run in the back end? Did they do the team bobs? I don't know. That's fascinating.
That episode though is really good because there were some things that they didn't put in the movie because it was too unbelievable. It didn't test well. Consumers, like viewers, didn't think that it was real. And so they had to take it out of the movie. Anyway, fascinating stuff there. So check out Give an Ovation, which is our podcast. And then you can check us out online at ovationup.com to find the podcast, to find case studies, and to find tips to help you in your restaurant journey.
Okay. At social too, where are your bigger platforms? Where are you guys out there?
We're on LinkedIn, Ovation Up. You could find me, ZACKOATES on LinkedIn, and you could find us on Instagram as well.
Okay, good. All right. I was going to close up. Before I do that, I will last parting shots, last thoughts, industry stuff, where things are going, where you're going to be. I don't know when this is going to air, but I know you go out to shows. Anything you want to share?
Yeah. So I've got 30 shows this year. We're doing a lot. But I think the one thing I will just say to leave you with one message is that we don't serve customers in the restaurant industry, and we don't even serve guests in the restaurant industry. We serve humans. And the reason I bring that up is because the same things that make us happy, that make us sad, that make us loyal, that make us build a connection outside of the restaurants are what make us happy and build loyalty and engage inside the restaurants. And at the end of the day, the most universal human desire is the desire to feel important.
Oh, yeah.
If you help your guest, your customer, your humans to feel important, they will come back. And if you don't, they will find somewhere else to dine. So that would be probably the last little nugget that I would want to leave.
It is. I would go to my book, but we're going to wrap up. It's something I read all the time, that Absolutely. That is one of the top things you need to do, make other people feel important. And so I appreciate that. Let's do this. Zack Oates from Ovation. You can find them at ovationup.com, as well as the socials that Zack mentioned. So go there as a starting point for more great restaurant marketing, operations, service people, and tech tips. Stay tuned to us here at runningrestaurants.com. Please hit that like button, the subscribe button, so you can check us out and review us. Since we've been talking about reviews, please review us on the platforms of your choice. We would very much appreciate that. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Zack.
Thank you.